Hi, I'm Peter Ilgenfritz, and I'm the interim pastor here at the Congregational Church of Boothbay Harbor. And this is In These Times, our weekly midweek encouragement. You know, one of the greatest gifts of moving here to Boothbay Harbor was and is getting to know. Let me do this again.
Oh, wait. It was imperfect?
Well, I could keep it going.
Keep it going.
One of the best gifts about moving here to Boothbay Harbor is getting to know Tom Dewey, because as I have been learning this whole new way to lead worship, talking to the crack at the back of the sanctuary door, Tom reminds me again and again and again, it's not about being perfect. And that's been truly transformational to me. So thanks, Tom, and thanks for being here today.
It's my pleasure. I got to thinking the more that I think about what we're doing and how we're doing it, I just came up with this thing that is, we live in this pretend world of perfection. I'm sure that if you stopped and took a moment and looked around you, you'd notice it. It's there in the Facebook feed as you look at every day. The perfect photo, the one you're seeing might be the 5th or 6th photo that was taken as we all try to find the perfect photo to share. You also see it in most every action that you take when shopping online or even at the store. With the please rate my performance. You get that ticket and they say, please, go online and rate my performance. Give me a 5-star rating, please, a 5-star perfect rating. Did you know that in the corporate world, if you go out online and you give that and you don't give a perfect rating, that the corporations discard that. They don't use it. They don't, because it's not perfect. It doesn't look the way that they want to, and they need to maintain the illusion of perfection. You see it and hear it every day as you watch TV, the laugh track that's perfectly placed exactly where they want you to laugh. You have the inserted ahs right at the best cute and cuddly moment. Applause that you hear when they think you should be applauding. And who really knows how many takes it took for that perfect shot? I mean, with YouTube, we get to see some of those silly things, but the bottom line is, if you're watching the TV show, you're seeing what they deemed to be the perfect presentation. So, with all that said, I thought that we would give you kind of a tour, back scenes tour of what we do every week as we try to prepare and give you a streaming service. It's never perfect. We always do our best, but in the long run, it's not about perfection. So with all that said, I'm going to have Peter follow me around and kind of do recording with this camera here, because we're going to get away. I'm going to point right now, and our camera that we record all these services from is kind of right at the tip of where my finger's pointing. And when Peter's standing up here, there's 2 double doors, and at the very top of the double doors is a place that the light comes in. And that's the place that I tell Peter and I tell everybody to look at when I want that perfect shot, when I want people to know that you're looking them straight in the eye. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm looking at you straight in the eye. So if we forget to do that, which happens, because we have this big wide open church with all these pews that normally have people. And so I'm sure that if you're looking at the video right now, you can see that I'm not looking at you in any way, shape, or form. It looks like I'm looking around. And I am, but in my world, I feel like I'm speaking to people who would be in the pews, as opposed to now I'm looking you dead square in the eyes. And so that's one thing that we have to get used to in this world of live streaming. So Peter, here's the camera. You just take the lens off, you turn it on, and we're going to go ahead and you hit the record button right here.
Okay.
And the mic for this camera is right on top. So
Okay.
when you're walking around with it, try not to cover it up, because if you do, I won't hear any audio. Okay? And so I prefer the manual zoom, where you just kind of, this is manual zoom.
Okay.
All right?
I like
so
that.
here you go.
All right.
So what do you think? Let's take a tour and show you the digs. So if you look over this way now, right up here is the camera that we shoot with. Right here.
Oh.
We have the TV. We have a TV over there. That's the one you always see. So this is what Peter can see, and he sees what's going on. Now right here are those double doors. And right at the top of those double doors where that light comes in, that's when we're looking you dead in the eyes, that's where we're looking. And we want to look you dead in the eyes, because the bottom line is that I want to make a personal connection with you. I want you to feel the things that we're feeling here. Peter wants that. Everybody here wants that. We make mistakes every once in a while, like, the sound going bad or missing the feed sometimes. But it's always our intent to do the best that we can for you. So on Sundays, you'll pretty much see me running around with this. And what this does is it gives me the audio that you're supposed to be hearing. So that as I'm running around checking levels and trying to get the mics to the place where they're not going to clip and you're not going to have these pops that make you lose audio, like today we lost audio for a couple of seconds, we had a pop. That's what I'm trying to do, is run around, and I can always hear that through this. Then if you want, come on over into the control room. I call it the closet. And here we are. So this is kind of command central. This is my monitor. That was Peter.
That was me.
Hitting the door. And here's our camera angles. And I'll just go ahead and expand that shot. And I can move left or right. I've got hot buttons over here. And this is really where we run the show from. Now, everything you see on the television set is right here on this little bad boy. We go ahead and we put it on what's called Keynote, and I'm able to run all the programs through there. And there's glitches sometimes, but it's all right. That's what it's all about. On the computer, this is my soundboard. This is how I adjust the sound, how I make it so that it's either louder or softer. Case in point, Peter doesn't know I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Case in point, we come in today, and I knew that it was going to be an impassioned sermon. So I told Peter, I says, give me your passion so that I can set the mics to the right levels. And we did, and I set the mics to the right levels. Peter didn't quite understand how impassioned he was going to be, because as soon as he started talking this morning, what happened. We got that pop, and you lost him for about a second and a half, because he had hit the mic so hard that it's called clip. Is it recording? See, so yet another imperfection. The batteries dropped out of the camera, and we had to put new batteries in. But guess what? That's life, right? So back to what I was saying is that when he started with that passion, he was louder than we anticipated. He was louder than he anticipated. We had that clipping moment. So I'm back here, and I've got my headsets on, and I'm getting into this, and I'm trying to lower those levels as fast as I can so I didn't get more clipping. And that's just something that you expect. And so this is Command Central. This is where we run it all from. Then out here, so every Monday, sitting at this table, Jeannie and Peter and I, we sit right down and we plan it out. Takes us about an hour. We sit down and we talk about the steps and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and why we're going to do it. And we just have this really great little powwow. And I'll tell you, we work very well together as a team. And it's fun. I look forward to it. I look forward to coming in and hearing other people's ideas and getting the service as ready as possible. Because you can't plan for everything. You just can't. Peter, did you use the sermon that you thought you were going to use on Monday?
I know, Tom.
Go on out. So in this section, you have kind of the trappings of what you would normally see at our church if you came to church and physically sat in the pews. Here's the pulpit. You haven't seen the pulpit for a while. Here it is, sitting right here, ready for the day that we can come back. Okay? Here's the communion table. And when we have guests, this is pretty much where they sit. We have them socially distanced, we have them in a place, but it's easier to have them sit here because when you're the only person in a space and you're preaching an impassioned sermon, you get distracted because you want to preach it to the people you see. But what we need to do is preach it to the people that we can't see. And so it's very important to not have anybody in the sanctuary because we don't want that distraction. And it's just been so wonderful to have the guests that we've had. And then, obviously, this is where Jeannie works her magic, here and at the piano. And we have our mics set up here so that we can have all of our guests come in to help us bring you not a perfect service, but a service from the heart. Because it's not about being perfect. It's about being yourself. It's about letting the love that you have for the things that you do shine forth. It doesn't really matter if it's perfect. What it matters is that people see, feel, and understand the love that you have and the understanding that you know you don't have to be perfect. Please, 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 if you take anything out of this, realize that you do not have to be perfect. You can't be perfect. Don't get down on yourself. Find the joy that you have and just let it shine forth. Peace.